All right, we are going to figure out how to simplify square roots. So we're looking at the radicands, and that's what's underneath the square root sign. If they're not perfect squares, we need to simplify them. So that means the first thing we are going to do is find a perfect square that goes into the radicand. And I'm going to edit that because it's not just any perfect square. It has to be the largest perfect square that goes into the radicand. So if we look at the square root of 24, the biggest perfect square that goes into 24 is 4. So we write 4, and then we write 4 times what is 24? 6. So then we could rewrite those both underneath radical signs separately. Square root of 4 times the square root of 6 is still equal to the square root of 24. And then we need to reduce that first square root. We know the square root of 4. It's 2. So then that's as far as we can go. We cannot simplify the square root of 6 any further, so that's our final answer. Looking at the second example, we've got 27. So we're looking for the largest perfect square that goes into that. So that would be 9, and we write that with 3. 9 times 3 is 27. All right, so rewrite those underneath their own radical signs. And we know the square root of 9. Square root of 9 is 3. So we have 3 on the outside, and then root 3 on the inside. Final answer. Last one, square root of 32. The biggest perfect square that goes into 32, you guys might think 4 and 8. However, the biggest perfect square is actually 16. It's 16 and 2. So then we'll rewrite that, square root of 16 times the square root of 2. And I put a star there just because it is the biggest perfect square, and that's why we changed the writing on the top of our notes. Square root of 16 is 4, and then square root of 2 cannot be simplified. There's our final answer. All right, these are you tries, so do these on your own. Right, sometimes we have a number in front of the radical sign, and we're going to have to simplify the radical first and then multiply the two numbers on the outside. So 75 breaks up into 25 and 3, 25 being the perfect square. So we can rewrite that as 5 times root 25 times root 3, simplify that square root of 25, and then multiply the two things on the outside. 5 times 5 gives us 25, and there's our final answer. Let's look at that second example. 200 breaks up into 100 times 2. So we'll rewrite that as 3 times root 100 times root 2. Simplify the square root of 100 because we know that. And then multiply what's on the outside. 3 times 10 gives us 30. Square root of 2 stays. Same thing happens with fractions, no different than any other number. So write that as 1/2 times the square root of 4 times the square root of 6. 4 is the biggest perfect square that goes into 24. Then we can simplify the square root of 4 to get 2. And then the 1/2 and the 2, because they're reciprocals of each other, they just cancel each other out. So our answer is simply root 6. Last one, 56 breaks up into 4 times 14. 4 is the biggest perfect square that goes into 56. So we have 1/3 times root 4 times root 14. Simplify root 4 to 2, and then multiply 1/3 times 2. So I put over 1 so I can see what's in the numerator or what's in the denominator, but it just simplifies to 2/3 times the square root of 14. Thanks for watching. Please do these you tries, and that will conclude your homework.